The series is back after nearly a month of absolutely nothing. We are back with the reviewing every single chicken breed. I'll provide you with 5 more with an in-depth review of each breed. Some of these breeds you may have never heard of. Comment the ones you've heard of below, and comment 5 more that I should review, and I'll respond and see if I've reviewed any of them in previous videos. Anyways, let's go. So first of all, we're going to start off with the Indian game chicken. Believe it or not, this is one of those few chickens I've never heard of before. Even though they're clearly plastered at one of the top results when you search up chicken breeds on Google, I've still never heard of them. Cute. Just because you're not the smartest in this flock does not mean you're allowed to eat this paper. Their eggs are a 19 out of 25. Assume anything above 15 is at least half decent. They lay about 180 to 220 eggs a year, which I mean gets the job done, but there's much better chickens, and 220 is pushing it. It's typically closer to 180, if not, probably lower. The reliability is scored a 22 out of 25 on my list here, mainly because they are known to be reliable, although there have been some issues in the past with some breeders, and this is a dual purpose breed, so some chickens may be completely different than others. The roosters are going to break this breed of a 9 out of 25. Do you want to know why I gave the roosters a 9 out of 25? That's because according to a lot of reviews I went through, the roosters are sometimes horrible, sometimes the greatest they've ever seen. Some of them just slack off like Snow White and Falcon and do nothing, but some of them are pretty chill and temperate. Because I would have immediately given them like a 1 out of 25 if it wasn't for the fact that some of them are just fine and others aren't. It seems to be a person ordeal with that one. The enjoyability is a 24 out of 25. At least you have some hens to hang out with. They're pretty cool, bringing their total score up to a 74 out of 100, making that the lowest scoring breed so far. Keep in mind, anything above 70 out of 100 is definitely on my recommendations. If it's below 70, once we get to about 50 to 70, that's where like, okay, you might only want these if you're like really good at keeping chickens, and below 50 is like, no, I'm not really a big fan, I wouldn't recommend them. Well, next up we got the Polish chickens. These are ones I know barely about. I know a little bit about them, just not a lot, so I had to do a little bit of research. Their eggs are a 23 out of 25, scoring pretty strong already, up to a nice and strong start with that 23 out of 25, already boosting the score pretty high. Going into the reliability is a 24 out of 25 with the Polish chickens. They're known to be fairly reliable, like really reliable sometimes. The Polish chicken roosters scored a 22 out of 25. They're known to be very good and chill chickens. They're just known to be those roosters. And then the enjoyability scored a 21 out of 25. Unfortunately, the hens and the roosters are sometimes similar. And not by like how mean they are, but by how flighty they can be. They're those chickens like puffs and all that whatnot on them. I'm not talking about my chicken puff. I'm just talking about puffs in general. They have a lot of puffy feathers, and it does help them hide just a little bit. And unfortunately, they're a little bit flighty, so it takes a little bit more to tame these chickens. You can't just hand feed them some goldfish and it's gonna become your best friends. Yep, we're talking about that chicken breed. The chicken breed that I've covered a lot on this channel, just haven't really covered in a video like this before. The I Am Samani. I'm pretty sure after about 3 years of trying to pronounce that name, I think I might have nailed it for once. Their eggs are a 13 out of 25, up to not the greatest start. A 13 out of 25 is nearly below 50%. You want to know how many eggs they lay a year? I'll give you 3 options. A, 150, B, 80, or C, 93. If you answered A, you're incorrect. If you answered B, however, you would be correct. 80 eggs a year, and at that price, sometimes you can find some as low as around $92 to $100. If we're looking at breeding pairs, you can maybe find one at the cheapest at like $2,000, because they are rare. There's only a couple thousand of them left, and they really want them to be put into good hands, which is why their reliability is a 25 out of 25. Typically, if you get these from local hatcheries, they are going to be selling these things as reliable as possible. They want these chickens. People want these chickens to be more reliable, and they are pretty reliable. The roosters are a 24 out of 25. They're known to be very tame roosters that you can walk up to and pet. They don't attack people that much. They're pretty cool roosters. And then the enjoyability is 25 out of 25. Chickens are incredibly tame, believe it or not. Moving on to a breed that all of us can afford now, we have the Sondheimer, which is a German chicken breed, if you couldn't tell by that name. We have the eggs clocking in at 21 out of 25. They lay plenty of eggs, up to 200 a year, which is considered on the lower end of the upper end of the scale. Clocking reliability, we got a 22 out of 25, meaning that they're pretty reliable. The roosters are 23 out of 25. They're very good roosters. They do their jobs, and they typically respect people, unless they really don't want to. And then the enjoyability comes into around 24 out of 25. They're very, very tame chickens. That is a nice car there. That was pretty cool to end out the clip. We got a, the Dodge Challenger passing up the street, man. Gotta love those things. Classical American V8s. Do you know how I love my Buff Orpingtons? Like, a lot. My Buff Orpingtons are like this one right here. But, you know how it's two words, Buff and Orpington? You might be wondering, are there more Orpingtons? Yes, there are. I want to mainly focus in on lavender Orpingtons, because those are the ones I know a second about. But there are many other Orpingtons as well. I'll list a couple on screen right now above you. Hopefully. Hopefully. Their eggs are 24 out of 25. This is also, keep in mind, all Orpingtons are just about the same. It's just the Buffs are the ones I have the most experience with. So I sort of just went off the scale of my Buffs. 24 out of 25 is quite the great score for those chickens, man. And the reliability, same thing, 24 out of 25. Nice, reliable chickens. Their roosters, 25 out of 25. As I said with my Buff Orpington roosters I've seen, they're typically really tame, unless you really, really annoy it. Then they're not cool and tame with you anymore. The enjoyability, 25 out of 25. You know how much I love my Buffs? You know how much I love Lovey when she was still around? Buffs are adventurous, though. That is why they have a lower reliability score. And typically when a chicken gets adventurous, they will love to go out and see if an animal will catch them. 9 times out of 10, that is how the Buff Orpingtons meet their demise. So if you enjoyed this video so far, be sure to drop a like and subscribe and click the video on the screen now. Please do it. It'll help me get 4,000 hours, and consider it an investment, sort of. Consider watching that video on the screen right now, the latest video essay here, an investment. You're giving me 10 minutes of watch time, and you get free entertainment. It's just worth a watch, man. I'm just saying.